Hello right bags, it's Jade. Welcome to a special video today. We're going to be talking about the PlayStation 5 launch info last night that went live and the situation regarding the whole of next gen really. But I am probably going to rip into PlayStation a little bit here. So after the reveal last night, some fantastic looking games including Demon's Souls, Final Fantasy 16 and of course God of War Ragnarok. You would be pretty happy if you're a PlayStation fan this morning, looking at all them exclusive games going to be coming to the PlayStation 5 next year. But what about some of the other ones? What if I told you Miles Morales and Spider-Man will be available on the PS4? What if I told you that Horizon Zero Dawn, or whatever the bloody sequel's called, Forbidden West, is in fact going to be appearing on the PlayStation 4 as well as the PS5? This goes massively against what Sony said earlier on in the year. We're going to come to that in a minute, but that's not the biggest, obviously, big thing. Right now in the UK, PlayStation 5 Digital Edition is £359 or $399. The one with the disc version is going to be $499 or £449. So comparing it to the Microsoft Series X, then absolutely it is a good deal. Getting a digital version of the PlayStation 5 is going to be something that I think a lot of people are going to be super interested in, and I am too, even though I am pretty much telling you guys not to bother. But for me, absolutely, I think the digital version in the future will be the way that I will purchase the next generation. For $500, I'm still not seeing a lot of value right now. Without the lack of proper exclusive launch games on both consoles, now we've been cleared up a little bit more, I really don't see the necessaries to actually upgrade for that much money just yet. We'll get into that as well because I've got some thoughts about that, about casual gamers versus hardcore gamers. But for now, purely just on the console price, PlayStation seems to have the upper hand. However, there's some big caveats with that. If you're like me, you're going to be buying another controller. It's good to have to play split screen with your friends. You want to just mix it up. Obviously, make sure you're not always running out of one with battery. Most people will have two controllers. The PS5 DualSense controllers will obviously be running on the PS5. The PS4 controllers will be able to be used on the PS5 for supported games, but not for every game. Compare that to Microsoft's policy that your peripherals, your controllers, your headsets, whatever it is, are going to work on any Xbox device no matter what. And I think it's safe to say Microsoft won in that front. Then add to the fact that PlayStation have now just revealed that the DualSense is going to be $10 more expensive for their new controller. And I think it's outrageous. I really do. I think controllers are pretty expensive anyway for what they really are. And I can't see how in the recession that's coming or starting or already way through, Sony are going out and being just super greedy. Add to that the price increase for first party games for Sony. They're increasing their prices by $10. Now, it's pretty expensive to buy digitally. We all know you can go and get bargain games from some of the electronic stores or supermarkets, whatever it is. But the full recommended retail price has always pretty much been $59.99. That's going up now to $69.99, and Sony are jumping on board this. So that means all their digital first games are no longer going to be $59 or whatever it is, it's going to be $69. They're going for that $10 increase. Compare that to Microsoft, and at the moment, unless things change, they've stated that their games are pretty much the same sort of prices. You can get upgrades for free. You don't have to buy any special extra editions like the bullshit that 2K tried pulling off recently, where you got to spend an extra $30 so that you can get a upgraded version for the next gen. And while Sony aren't as bad as 2K, obviously with only the $10 increase and the majority of these games also getting a free upgrade, it still rankles me, it still pisses me off. Sony, in the middle of going to be probably the worst recession we've seen in decades, where lots of you guys are going to be struggling for jobs, for money, all because of COVID-19 and other situations. Now's the time that Sony want to increase the prices of their first party games, going along with some of the biggest and most greedy corporations around. Overall, I think it's pretty poor from Sony. Yes, lots of games maybe could be a little bit more expensive considering how many hours you put into a game, how much it brings you joy, entertainment. But I would argue that there are a bunch of indie games that should probably be more expensive for the amount of work that goes into them, the popularity of them, compared to rather than AAA. If anything, who wants to pay £60 or $60 for just a reskin of their favourite sports sim? FIFA, NBK, Madden, they've been doing this for years. Minimal changes, minimal actual improvements, yet charging full price every single year. So yeah, I'm not impressed with Sony going down this route. I think they should have maybe taken Microsoft's high line, kept their games, their first party games down to the same price, because now this means that other companies are going to jump on this bandwagon. So there we go, two of the major disappointing things for me last night. The controllers absolutely being more expensive and the games also being more expensive. Now let's move on to the other stuff then, about them games that aren't no longer just PS5 exclusives. The whole point of upgrading to a new generation is that you want to experience all the brand new stuff. It's better, significantly better than what you've currently got. Now, how many of you guys roll around on 4K TV right now? Apparently on PC, with a survey recently on Steam, it was something like under 10% of users on PC actually game with a 4K monitor. You take away the 4K component and then you're left with faster load times, being able to have more bigger, expansive worlds with more complicated things going on. That is definitely something worth some value, and that is definitely something I would like to upgrade for. But I do expect that when I upgrade, a lot of the stuff that the developers are promising will be exclusives are going to help me make that decision, because there's absolutely no way I can buy them games anyway else. With Sony now announcing that some of their games are going to be available on the PS4, it makes jumping to the next gen even worse. It makes jumping to the next gen really not that mandatory. Not yet anyway. Absolutely, you want that new experience, you want faster load times, you want to be on the cusp of new technology. Then if you've got some money to burn, go ahead. But my advice right now is do not bother. Wait until next year. Literally, if you're not a Dark Souls fan of them types of games, there is nothing in this lineup that really screams to me I have to buy a PS5 to play them exclusives. And that's what a lot of the PlayStation defenders have always said. We got our exclusives. We're the best exclusives. Well, bros, what exclusives you got right now? There is nothing to say buy a PS5 on launch day for me. Next year, different story, but right now, hell nah. It's good. If you look at it uncynically, you could say that maybe Sony have realised the state of the world and they're trying to make it still accessible that you guys can enjoy games on your PS4 because money is going to be tight. Or you could look at it the other way, they realise that actually not everyone's going to have loads of money to upgrade, and so they still want to get some money from you, and making you buy a version of a game that they previously said was exclusive to PS5 is better than not getting any money from you whatsoever. Marvel's Spider-Man, a glorified DLC, is now going to be available on the PS4 like it should have been, since the base game is really a PS4 game. So right now I'm looking at the launch lineup and it's just pretty bare, it's pretty awful. Now don't get me wrong, I'm not just hating on Sony, Xbox still also have a pretty rubbish launch lineup. Bottom line, neither of these platforms are offering me a real reason to spend $500 or $349, whatever it's going to be, to get some exclusive games, because there are no real big exclusives that I'm interested in on day one, or the next month, or the next 3-4 months. It won't be until maybe late 2021 when we start to see more of the exclusives coming out that it will be more of a reason to go next gen. Back in May, Jim Ryan, one of the bigwigs at Sony, said they're interested in making the next generation very exclusive, making it a reason that you're going to be buying it, and it's going to have something very different, and it's got to be worth the proposition. It's going to have exclusivities. They're not interested in doing cross-gen as much as Microsoft. Well, it turns out that was all a big fat lie, or maybe just a bit of a PR gaffe. Maybe they're trying to just differentiate themselves from Microsoft. Or maybe things really have changed. Obviously they have. But it looks to me they really just wanted to throw some shade at Microsoft for a few months until they actually decided to come out with their own pretty much subpar reveals. A few other things that I'm a little bit grumpy about as well, more from a personal point of view, is the launch date. 19th of November in the UK. Everyone else is going to get it on the 12th. Pretty much America, Canada, Australia, so many other countries are going to be playing on the PlayStation 5 ahead of everyone. Yet UK and most of Europe, one of the biggest markets in the world for gaming, is being left behind by a whole week. It's a pretty shit situation that you're not going to be able to maybe play with some of your friends on some of your games together because you have to wait a whole week. Now you can blame COVID for that, but Microsoft have seemed to have found a way to launch globally. but they can't do the same for Europe and the UK. Well, that's because actually PlayStation has pretty much a stranglehold on that region. Xbox is popular, don't get me wrong, but across the whole of Europe, lots more people have PlayStations than they do Xbox, and so they pretty much have a fanboy core unit built in. It seems like the release dates for the countries earlier is really attacking the markets where they're maybe not as strong, like Australia, like America. A minor gripe, but it does kill my enthusiasm. Maybe the whole point of me getting a PS5 is to show you guys some of the brand new exclusive launch games. And out of them, only maybe Demon's Souls would have any kind of interest in, and there's just literally no point in me doing so now, because I'll be getting it a week later than everyone else. Everyone will have their guides, tutorials, gameplay already up, and it makes it kind of redundant. Add to that some pretty major cock-ups last night. Demon's Souls is indeed still just a PS5 exclusive. At the very end of the trailer, a message popped up that said not available on other consoles for a limited time, also available on PC. Well, some people were surmising that actually that was meant to be for Deathloop. It has been now clarified. Demon's Souls is going to be a PlayStation 5 exclusive. It will not be coming to the PC or any other platforms. The trailer was re-uploaded without that last piece. Now, before I get accused of just hating on the consoles, there are some good points. I was intrigued by the PlayStation Plus collection. It seems like Sony finally have realised they need to offer something a bit more competitive alongside their consoles to keep up with Microsoft and its Games Pass. The PS Plus collection is going to be a big collection of PS4 games you'll be able to play on day one on your PlayStation 5. It's only a PlayStation 5 benefit. It includes games like Bloodborne, God of War, Monster Hunter World. You're also going to be able to play Batman, Arkham Knight, Final Fantasy, Fallout 4, Mortal Kombat X, Uncharted 4, A Thief's End, Ratchet and Clank, the last one that just came out, and Days Gone. Also included Until Dawn, Detroit Become Human, and you get the idea. It's a nice little selection of a lot of the previous generation games. Obviously Battlefield, Infamous Second Son, The Last Guardian, which I'd be very interested in giving a try, and The Last of Us Remastered. Now, lots of these games have appeared on the PS Plus in the past, although lots of them haven't. It's pretty much just catching you up on the best of the last generation, and seems to be a massive move on their part to try and pry away some Xbox players. This is pretty much going to give you the option to play some of the best games on PlayStation 4 on day one of a PS5 while you wait around for some exclusives. Supposedly they're also going to be adding some more to this collection over time. So yeah, it does look like it's going to be something to rival the Games Pass. Now I know they've got PlayStation Now, but PlayStation Now is quite different. It's got hundreds of games, yes, but it doesn't have the day one exclusive games like the Xbox First Party series offers. And does leave me wondering what's going on with PlayStation 4 Plus owners. What are you guys going to get for the next 6 or 9 months? I would not be surprised if this collection of games on the PS5 will be dished out over the coming 6 or 9 months on PlayStation 4 as part of your Plus benefits too. It just seems a bit weird that they've got all these games for PS5 even though some of them haven't actually appeared as Plus games on the PS4. If not, why are you staying a PS Plus subscriber on the PlayStation 4 if you're not getting access to some of these games? Because they're still pretty big. Like I said, most people have probably played a lot of these games on the PlayStation if you've owned it for a number of years. But then again, I have not played half of them games. And right now, there's no way anyone can tell me that the Games Pass isn't the best value in gaming. Before anyone else starts saying, oh no, but everything's better on the PlayStation. Man, with the EA stuff being added to the pass, with the xCloud where you can play on your phone anywhere using your Xboxes like the Root or the Widen, whatever it is, and plus all the backward compatibility guaranteed, it's definitely a better option. Maybe if you're picking up a console for the first time for your kids, or maybe you've dropped out this generation completely, you're getting back into gaming, then for me, the Xbox with the Games Pass offers the better proposition. In fact, when you look at it overall, a PS5 at £349, maybe 3 or 4 games at £70 each. A new controller to have alongside your first one, another 70 quid. PlayStation Plus, that's going to be another 50 quid. You chuck in maybe the actual PS Now subscription, that's going to be another 40 or 50 quid for the year. You're looking at around nearly £800. All that maybe just to give yourself a good selection of stuff. With the PlayStation Plus collection, absolutely it's become much better proposition for sure if you're getting that included. With all them PS4 games, it's a great time. But even if you take into account the Xbox Series X being, you know, £449, when you take into account maybe another controller that's 50 quid, that's 500. Then add a Games Pass for like maybe, I don't know, £100 for the whole year. You're still looking at an overall package of around £600, and you're going to have access to every single one of Microsoft's first party games on day one. But that's obviously going to be down to you and your decision, what games you prefer, how much you love PlayStation's exclusives, or how much you're just looking for a console that has access to a whole host of games for day one. But at this point, they might as well just rebrand the PS Now, include it with the PlayStation Plus, and just go ham on adding all of last generation's greatest games to it, rather than only one or two every now and then. With a lower next gen console coupled together with that change, and it could really shift, like really massively push Microsoft out of the water. And then lastly, the last thing that kind of pissed me off was the pre-order situation. Sony had said that they were going to give notice of when the pre-orders would go live, and you wouldn't have to run around last minute. Everywhere you go, in the UK at least anyway, it's sold out everywhere. Amazon, Game, which is our biggest store, and lots of other smaller companies that are pretty reputable, they're all sold out. This happened within minutes. I was watching it all unfold this morning. But yeah, they're sold out within minutes, like literally 4 minutes on one site. It was 18 minutes on Amazon before they was all sold out. I'm sure more are going to come in, but there were some rumours recently that they are shipping 5 million less actual consoles due to some hardware supply issues, although Sony did deny this claim a day later. So there we go, that is the situation with the current gen on the PlayStation front. Absolutely, in terms of the games revealed last night, Deathloop has got my attention. Harry Potter, maybe, I don't know. Final Fantasy, with its kind of basis on like old Arthurian sort of legends, that looks pretty interesting too. Obviously Demon Souls, yep, as I said, I'm pretty interested in that. Resident Evil, I get scared of them types of games very quickly and easily, so I'm maybe not going to be picking that one up. And some of the other games like Soulstorm, yeah, kind of going on my nostalgia tip a little bit. But I wasn't that impressed with Spider-Man. You know, I'm a weird gamer, what can I say? I'm not that impressed with Miles Morales. I'd rather actually spend my money on something like Biomutant. I want that game to come out soon. So that's my kind of hot take on the situation. You are going to obviously go and buy your console. You're hyped, you're excited. I'm just saying right now, there's still not a lot of value in either systems. But right after last night, I think Sony are kind of doing people dirty. I think it's become PlayStation rather than PlayStation. And I really hope they adjust or change some of this. They probably won't. They've got the market. People are going to buy it no matter what. But it is a bit shit that we're going to be increasing prices in such a harsh time. And all the other stuff that's gone on, shenanigans as well. It's just not made it very simple, Sony. It's all a lot of conflicting messages. I will try and keep you guys up to date a little bit more, and in future if I do any videos like this, it probably will be a bit more concise with a lot less opinion. But you know, I wanted to give you what I thought about the whole situation. Until next time, Ratbags, I will see you very soon.